Tigray opposition fighters have announced a deadline for taking control of Tigray or for liberating Tigray. This is what they're saying. Liberation of Tigray, they're working for. What is the deadline? How long will they take to take control of Tigray? Secondly, another engagement, a ceremony between Tigrayans and Eritreans. This is the fourth engagement, I think, if I'm not wrong, between the two communities on Tigray Eritrea. Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. Two main news stories. First one is from Tigray, second one from Eritrea. First, Tigray. We know that Tigray opposition fighters who call themselves TPF, Tigray Peace Force, they have been organizing themselves in the neighboring Afar region for the last few months. And they tried to enter Tigray a few weeks ago when they entered Vajirat, but military countered them. They had to retreat back into the Afar region. What are their plans? Do they want to carry out targeted attacks in Tigray? Do they want to take control of Tigray? When will they take control of Tigray? How long will they take? Shivat Batio is one of the founding members of TPF. Shivat is a former member of TIP, Tigray Independence Party. And he was the first, he remained part of TDF too during war. And he was the first TDF member who broke the news about formation and activities of TPF. Shivat was interviewed by a news source this week, and Shivat made some claims. Firstly, he said that we asked Tigray generals to march towards Raya and Volkar during war. We asked TPLF leaders that they should focus on Raya and Volkar. But back then, these leaders were only focused on Addis Ababa. They wanted to seize Addis Ababa, so all their military plans were directed at reaching Addis Ababa. They ignored Volkayt and Raya. So if Volkayt is under the control of Amhara forces, it is because of the policies adopted by TPLF and Tigray generals during war. Well, I think Tigray forces tried to take control of Volkayt several times. But Volkayt was protected. It was protected by Eritrean military, Ethiopian National Defense Force, Amhara forces. So ADF could not make inroads into the defense lines built by these forces. I don't agree with Shivat that deliberately Tigray generals and TPLF ignored Volkayt. I don't agree with it. Secondly, Shivat said that after the signing of Pretoria deal, the ruling elite in Tigray, they start plundering the resources of Tigray. They start selling things, selling weapons. They started selling weapons, and they took control of gold mines, copper mines. And since then, they have been, they means top TPLF leaders, Tigray generals. They have been involved in illegal extraction, smuggling of gold, copper, etc. Youths are dying of hunger, but these generals, these TPLF leaders are making money, they're minting money. Then he talked about the timeline. How long will TPF take to achieve its objectives? And by the way, he was interviewed in the Afar region. So they're still there in Afar, TPF members. He said by the end of this year, we will take control of Tigray. We will liberate Tigray. This is what they say. Liberation for them means removal of TPLF from power, sidelining of TPLF, sidelining of top Tigray generals who they accuse of supporting TPLF. By the end of this year means by the end of Ethiopian calendar year. So September, you can largely say. We are into July. It means that TPF fighters hope that in the next 90 days, they will be able to take control of Tigray or remove TPLF and top channels from Tigray. Which seems to be, by the way, a very ambitious target. Can TPF achieve this goal in just 3 months with just a few thousand fighters? It does not seem possible. It can only be possible if there are some assurances given to TPF by the federal government. The federal government has told TPF that be ready, we're going to invade Tigray and you will support us. We'll just kick TPLF out of Tigray and Tigray will be removed from Tigray too. Support us. Maybe this is what Shivat is hinting at. Otherwise, it does not seem very likely that TPF can remove TPLF and generals in just a few weeks or months. TPF still is a very small force, a few thousand fighters. Yes, they can be a pain in the side of TPLF and Tigray military. They can be a threat to peace and security. They can carry out assassination attacks, target attacks in Tigray. But to take control of Tigray, it's a very ambitious target. Let's see. We'll have to wait to see. Secondly, towards the engagement activities between Tigrayans and Eritreans continuing on Tigray Eritrea border. I think we have seen 3 or 4 such ceremonies, all of them organized on Eritrean side of the border. None of them has been organized on Tigray side of the border. So Tigrayans crossed into Eritrea 3 or 4 times in the last few months. The two communities welcomed each other. People spoke there. Elders delivered speeches there. And the border communities are calling it an era of reconciliation. They say what is happening is reconciliation. That Tigray and Eritreans are the same people. They fought. They were divided by outsiders. Now they are hugging each other. They're accepting each other. It's good for peace, stability in border areas. Another such program was organized in Sirona, which is again in Eritrea yesterday. By yesterday, I mean on Thursday. Communities from Tigray side crossed Eritrean border, crossed the Eritrea border and reached the town where Eritreans welcomed them. Elders, women greeted each other. Then the elders delivered speeches there, showing respect for each other and vowing to continue in this atmosphere of solidarity with each other. Now, I am not against such engagement activities. The problem is that Ethiopian federal government is not on board. Border is being crossed. Technically, Ethiopian federal forces are responsible for protecting borders. But the Eritrea border has been opened by TPLF and PFDJ, EDF and TDF, and federal government is not on board. That is fueling tensions between TPLF and Prosperity Party. Federal government won't accept such free coordination and engagement between the two sides while the federal government is out of the equation. The situation is not very helpful for peace. Either federal government should be involved in these engagements, or uh, at least efforts should be made for some engagement between federal government of Ethiopia and Eritrean government. Unless there are if tensions between Abiy and Isaias persist, such ceremonies will fuel more conflict between federal government and Tigray government. Tigrayans say that why should they die in silence? Federal government is putting a chokehold around them. Federal government is restricting supplies from entering Tigray. Federal government is now restricting entry of fuel into Tigray. So if Eritreans are supporting Tigrayans, why shouldn't Tigrayans welcome Eritrean support? These are very valid questions which are raised by Tigrayans. Thanks for watching.